Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nick Push, talking more Scream 6 today. Today, specifically, I want to talk about Sidney Prescott, who, as we know, is not in Scream 6. It'll be the first movie in the franchise without Sidney Prescott. Before I get into this Sidney theory that I've heard going around, I want you guys to tell me down in the comments, do you think Sidney not being in this movie could actually be a good thing for this franchise? You know, we know that Halloween, for instance, was pigeonholed in this latest trilogy because Laurie kept coming back, right? So they had to stick to a certain story. They couldn't just have Michael, killing anyone. They had to involve Laurie, which had its positives and minuses for the Blumhouse trilogy. As far as Scream goes, I'll be honest, Sidney Prescott is my favorite final girl of all time. I think she is the best final girl of all time. When I think of a final girl, I think of somebody who might be start out a little meek or a little quiet, and then they find this inner strength that they've always had to, battle their demons, whether it's an actual demon or killer or their own personal demons, and triumph in the end. That's kind of my personal definition of a final girl, or what I look for in a final girl, and I think Sidney Prescott does that better than anyone as this franchise goes on. And we've seen Sidney, obviously, in many walks of life. We saw her in the original when, like I said, she started out a little meek. We've seen meeker final girls. But then, she had to battle back against, her boyfriend who was doing all this and battle the demons of her mother being killed the year prior. And then it happens again in the second one. And the third one, she wants to, just be left alone, and she realized she can't. She has to come help her friends because this keeps happening, and she can't be afraid all the time. The fourth one, she takes a little bit more of a mentor role, and then realizes it's her fucking family member who's doing this time. And obviously in Scream 5, she takes a big mentor role and steps to the background a little bit. But now she's totally in the background because she is not in Scream 6. So tell me, like I said, do you think that could be a good thing for this movie and this franchise moving forward? Obviously, she could be back for Scream 7, but it'll be interesting. Let's talk about this theory I've heard, though. So, before I get into the theory, guys, as always, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. I appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. But without further ado, I'm not even going to play my intro today. I just want to get into this shit. The theory I've heard is that Sidney's not in this movie, obviously, as I said. But it's still all about Sidney. Why? Because people are saying, or at least one of the theories out there, is Ghostface will be, and don't fucking spoil this shit, guys. I know there's spoilers out there. I just heard this theory and I wanted to address it. If you spoil it, for people in the comments or for myself, I'm going to be pissed off. Little rant there, but, I just don't want this spoiled. If I get spoiled, so be it. I'm on the internet. I'm on YouTube talking about it. It kind of comes with the territory, but don't ruin it for other viewers. But, I keep interrupting myself. But, let's get to this theory. So the theory is, Ghostface is none other than, or this person is pulling the strings, Mark fucking Kincaid, McDreamy himself, which we saw him in Scream 3. He played a big role as a detective. From the little tidbit we got, I believe, in Scream 5, the assumption is that him and Sid are now married because she mentions Mark. But, yeah, he is doing all this because he is sick and tired of people coming for Sidney, that he just fucking snaps. So the theory goes, and like I said, this is just a theory. The theory goes that, Sidney's not in this one, but Kincaid, goes on a business trip, and his business trip is actually to New York. And he just loses it. He's so sick of Sidney having to deal with this. He's sick of being in hiding that his screw comes loose. And we know that, he was a big fan of, scary movies from what we saw in the conversations in Scream 3. And, he might, be a little crazy after, having to deal with all this shit. Even though technically it'd be his wife that's been dealing with this. But, Sidney, she likes to find these guys with a little bit of a dark side in them. And Kincaid, so goes the theory, is no different. Tell me what you guys think of that theory. Of Kincaid either being Ghostface or pulling some type of Ghostface type strings. Personally, I don't like it. And I love talking different crazy theories like this and shit like that. But personally, I don't like it. But yeah, these things are fun to talk about. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you next time.